Are you serving people or are you serving God? That's a very big distinction. Some of you know me for my previous business about a year ago. Some of you are maybe acquaintances since some time ago. Some of you are new here. Some of you don't even know me at all. And I've been away. I've closed everything down in order to embody more of what I teach. My teachings have never changed over the course of 5 years or more, but the way I deliver it has changed a lot. And I'm back now a bit over the month. She came to me and she told me that I really don't know what to do because what he's doing is wrong. And it's jeopardizing myself and it's jeopardizing the kids. But at the same time, this and that is good. And every woman has been through this situation in her life where she knows that she's ready for more, she wants more, but she's somehow confused and overwhelmed and so stuck, and she can't make those right decisions because she simply is blinded. And the thing that she said that she's attached to, it makes me disgusted. As a woman, I can't respect her. I wouldn't even be able to respect myself if I would be in this situation. And I have been in similar situations, but not exactly that. As a man, I would never see a value in the woman. And no wonder that she was living this life with this man because she didn't allow herself to experience more and to stand up for what she's worthy of. We are only self-led because we don't believe that God is giving to us, that we can lean on God, that we can fully be supported by God, that we can be faith-led, because we are so used to serving people. And let me prove it to you. If you have extra money and your family or your relatives are coming and asking you, oh, can you give me this? And your first thought is, I have to give it because she's my relative. I have to give it because she's my family member. I have to help her because otherwise, they will neglect it. They will think badly of our family and this. Your intention is so wrong. You are serving people, not God. And when you start serving people, you will be pedestaling people instead of the God. And that means that you are attaching yourself to suffer, overwhelm, anxiety. And there is no wonder that at some point in your life, you will be feeling overwhelmed, over-responsible, over-emotional, and just needing peace. Just get me the peace and get me out of here. Just let's go and have fun and drink alcohol. Instead of relying upon God and knowing that those people also have God. And God gives freely to everyone. When you give people money through the wrong intentions, just in case they will look at you badly, your intention is, I want to be loved, I want to be needed. Your intention is not pure. Then you will not only drag yourself into debts sooner or later, but also drag them into debts. Because you are not running your life by the identity that creates freedom in your body, relaxation in your body, an identity that creates trust for you to move freely into your next level of the things that you want. You keep telling, I want this, I want that, but your actions and behaviors are staying on the self-led level because you are so afraid to trust God. And when the things go down, that's what I used to do. You start begging God. I begged God for more than 13 years in my life to show me the freedom. Why are you putting this? You start blaming God for putting you in this situation. Don't you dare do that. Because God never put you into this situation. God allowed it to happen, but you put yourself into this situation because you never believed in God, neither had full faith that God has your back and God is also available for them. You're not God. And you can never be God. And pedestaling people over God is a guarantee and straight path to suffering and overwhelm. Who, in my group and Telegram channel that I started about a month ago, I'm talking about those 3 pillars. Intention. If your intention is wrong and you don't see it, you will not get what you want. You will get the opposite. If your true desires, you're not even knowing what you want, and you're so confused and you keep asking people what you want, you will never get what you want. Neither your life becomes a chaos. And the third pillar is faith. If your faith is conditional, you blame God when things go wrong, but you beg God as if he's some sort of a savior. Nobody said that. I am as my servant sees me literally means that if you only believe in me when you're down on your knees begging for something, then I'm not there for you because you think that I'm a savior, and I'm not a savior. That's not faith. And this is why I went off for the whole year of Facebook and everything else. One of the big reasons. Because I got closer to my mission, which literally says in my name on Oksana. I was pulled into Islam, which I would never ever think in my life I would be pulled into religion. But I do not serve religion. I serve God. For me, it's Allah. But I never serve religion. I don't serve people. I serve God because I believe that God is all giving and all providing. And when I serve God, all my desires come to me. I'm open to receiving. I'm dropping my control with no efforts. Because in the moment when something bad happens, my first thought is not to run to the people and tell me what to do, save me. My first thought is, Alhamdulillah, Allah, help me. You got this and I know nothing. I rely upon Him to create possibilities for me. I don't rely on people because I know that God will send me the people. I receive instead of pushing. I don't control, and if I start controlling, I notice it immediately, and I pushing it away. God doesn't owe you anything. So if you think that you've been through all this disgust in your life and now God owes you something, you're twisted in your mind to think like that. God is like, I'm literally giving you everything, but you're the one who cannot receive. And while a blinded person can never see the blessings. But God says, I will give to those who are grateful. How can you be grateful if you're full of bitterness? One woman came to me and she really wanted to know her future. And I was like, I don't read future. I'm not God. And she said to me, oh, but I really want my husband to get rich. But her second sentence was, but I will be so bitter because I am at the moment taking care of the household and I would not allow, I'm so bitter because I've been literally carrying this weight on my shoulder. She's full of bitterness. And I'm like, no, you don't want your husband to be rich. Because you know what? You're fearing that he will abandon you the moment he gets rich. It serves you for him to be poor. Because you can tell that I am self-led instead of God-led. And she said, but you tell me whether it's a good thing for me to do in the future or not. I was like, you're not listening, woman. You're not listening. Because you don't want to hear the truth. You want to hear what pleases your mind. To say, yes, you're going to be fine. Anyway, you're going to be fine. But if you don't change here, your life will never change. Because what is in here, if it's rotten, bitter, full of sacrifices, that's what you allow yourself to receive. More sacrifices, more things that are unworthy. One woman told me, my husband is threatening me. They have 2 kids. He doesn't want a peaceful divorce. Who is he? King of the jungle? Like literally, is he king of the jungle? Do you serve people or do you serve God? Because at the moment, you fearing what he's going to do or what he's not going to do is you serving people because you're pedestaling them here. As if they are the kings of the kings and they could do anything to you. Because you have no faith. And then you're begging on the floor, in the shower. I used to beg in the shower, biting my knees to feel something, to know that the God is there. I was so wrong about God because beggars don't get anything. Stop pedestaling people because God is always there. When you start pedestaling God and praising God, it literally said in my name, I didn't finish my story, sorry. When I was pulled into Islam, how I was pulled to it is I was putting my son to bed almost 2 years ago. And I felt the strong pull loud and clear. Google what means Alhamdulillah. And when I Googled it, it literally said, be praised to God. And I was like, I've heard this sentence somewhere. I've heard it in exact way. And remembered, I Googled my name, Oksana, in Google. You can check it all out. It's not some story that I'm just making up in my head. I Googled it and it says exactly same words, and something hit me. I was like, wow, be praised to God. It was all in my name. My purpose was in my name. And you know what? I was in my business before, doing all the work. And when I was so trusting God and I followed it, it was so easy. I had the best months. But at some point, my mind said, wait a minute. It can't be that easy. But what about crying nights? But what about suffering? But what about this? But what about doubts? And I did start doubting. I became the victim of the devil, of my bad thoughts that I don't deserve it. And I hired 2 mentors, which was the bad move that I owned fully. And I got so overwhelmed. And I so wanted expansion. I so wanted next level identity. I so wanted next level clients and everything, but nothing happened. Why? Because I was serving people. Again, not the God. And then I stopped everything because I got overwhelmed. And this is what happens for a woman who is overly responsible. An overly responsible woman, it means that she's overthinker of all the possible ways that it can go because she doesn't trust God. And I stopped the business and I went back into my hibernation mode. And I started to really examine who God is. And God answered my prayers and he brought me the person into my life, Aygerim Abdukarim, who truly showed me what Islam is about, who truly showed me what God is about. And I'm not teaching people religion. I'm teaching people God. My way to it was through religion. It's like your way to something is through specific people. But it shifted my whole mind. It shifted my whole life into receiving and being free inside of me. To focus, to be determined, and to know what means inner stability. What means knowing your worth. Women often think that if I do this for a person, if I sacrifice myself for this person, God will provide for me, reward me. Even in religion, people think like that. This is wrong. God, when you are suffering and sacrificing yourself, you cannot be grateful. You cannot simply be grateful because you're suffering. And God says very clearly once again, I give to those who are grateful. God never told you sacrifice, suffer, be in a relationship where men are alcoholics and you are treated so bad and you are having debts and you have to beg for things. God never said that. Your next level identity is not self-led, it's God-led. To 1000 degree. And I'm sharing all about it in my free Telegram channel for women only. People want things. I want that, I want that, I want that. I want this and that and that and that. And when I look at them, I'm like, you're not even ready to have that. Your internal world is a mess. You're afraid to say no to things because you feel like you owe everyone something. Like people owe to you and you owe to them. Especially in the families, like you have this over responsibility that I owe anything. The only way to give to people is for the sincerest intention of doing it for God. If you're doing it for the people, you will constantly live in bitterness and you will not be able to drop control to receive more. You will not be able. Tried, done, and tested so many times. And I see it from the women I work with. The moment they start trusting, women who are full of anxiety, the moment that the money drops in. Why? Because it was always there. Because God always gives, right? I will never cheat on my faith for people. Never. 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 And I will never be with a person, and thank God I'm not. I'm with a person who knows and has the same level of faith. Because if two people come together and they start attaching themselves to such a degree that they forget about God, they forget about faith, they forget about who they serve in the first place, who is the first place in the heart, frictions happen, conflicts happen, attachments happen that turn into the toxicity, devaluing happens, disrespect happens, because you start needing each other like there is no one else that can fulfill your heart. Your happiness will be starting relying on that thing, relying on that money, relying on whether your boyfriend or husband is giving to you something or not, relying on those gifts your husband has given, relying on those people, relying on your kids to be super trooper amazing at school, because otherwise you're going to be a bad mom. You will get exactly that. You will feel yourself a bad mom because it's in here, not because of your kids. Leave your kids alone. They have God as well. I'm teaching my son who's 7 years old to rely on God, and he does. Because I don't want to be the one, neither it's my place to be the one, to be the sole caretaker. If I'm gone, who does he have? Kids needs to be raised in faith, in the real faith, where God is beautiful, safe, loving, giving. That they can give the words, they know how to pray. My kid literally, he prays, just putting his hand on the head or just saying something. And he sees it the next moment dropping in. And he's like, but it works. I've said, of course it works, because your heart is clean. Your heart is clean. When a woman's heart is so messy from past pain and hurt, even when she prays and asks for things, it can't come through. She will be attaching and running after men who are alcoholics or men who don't treat them, tolerating all the shit in the world, believing that, but she deserves it. But I don't know how to be without him. Are you kidding me? Again, is he the king of the jungle? Or is the God actually the one that you need to serve? Because if you serve the God, you will be given all the beautiful things in your life. You have it twisted. You put God last and put people first, hoping that now people will start serving you. My whole year has been in the high contemplation, and I got rid of all the friends who I saw that they are suffering. Especially there's many religious people who are like, but I need to do this in fear for God, because what if they're not gonna? I'm like, no, God never asked that, and this is such a false belief that you can have. Debts is devil. Suffering is devil. Chronic illnesses is devil. Being treated not as you feel free in the relationship is devil. Being in a relationship where you're being abused is devil. Don't you dare put that on God. I'm so protective over God, because literally it has become a mission to show the real meaning of God. You cannot lead yourself into the next level identity. Only God can do that for you. And if you will start leading yourself into the next level identity with the heart that you have right now, with the people-pleasing, serving people mindset that you have right now, you will achieve maybe one day your goals, but at the expense of your health, your well-being, your kids, your husband, and so on and so forth. With God, things will come easy. I'm the living proof of that. I've deliberately not done anything in my work for a year to go through these moments of my life that helped me to grow inside, that helped me to detach from everything materialistic world and cleanse my heart and start using discernment, because discernment comes when you're crystal clear about who is in the forefront in your heart. I would love to see you in my free Telegram channel so much. And I support every woman who's in the same mission. Every woman. Doesn't matter how she talks, what she teaches. Is it through something similar that I do? My work is different than the other ones. Some probably things are quite similar. I use something that came to me through God, through that method. People use different methods. It doesn't matter, because God gives to all. You will stop competing. You will stop being jealous. You will stop being like, oh my God, she has this and I need to run. I need to chase. You will stop doing all of those shit because it's the devil that makes you want to think that you are in scarcity and lack. So you need to run faster. Just yesterday I was talking to my friend and I told her, every time I talk to her, I feel her vibe is like chasing. And I'm like, since I've known you for a couple of years, you've been chasing. What are you chasing? You have an amazing life. I don't know. I know exactly what she's chasing, but I'm not going to tell her that because she needs to wake up. There is no reward when you start telling people all the things they need to come in here for heart. My way was for Islam. Your way could be different. And I'm hoping that for many women to come, and now, it could be my free Telegram channel, to wake up into a life that's full of worthiness, into a life that's beautiful. When your eyes shine when you wake up, when you're grateful, when you're appreciative, when you're loving life, when you know how to not be in guilt. Because your expansion cannot happen when you're carrying the guilt with you like a big baggage of potatoes. In case there is a war and you need to cut the potatoes. In case there is a lack. Why do you need this in case? God never said that my giving will stop one day. So just in case, carry the bag of potatoes. That's your thinking. That's your subconscious mind saying, it's not enough. I can't do this. I have to hoard things. Literally hoard things. I have to, even if your man says, that's it, I'm done with you, I'm gonna leave you if you're gonna do this, threatening you, and you're like, no, please don't leave me. That's exactly what you're gonna do. You're gonna leave him. He's literally begging for it. You don't even see your self-worth in this. This is how you see God. That God doesn't give you. You see, those moments, how you move through them is exactly what you believe about God. Do you stay where you're pretty much told to go and F yourself? Are you begging? If you're begging to God, and God won't give you. If you're thinking that, oh, that's my only chance to be with love, or my poor kids, stop putting that your bitterness into your kids. Your kids are gonna be fine. They have God, they don't even need you. You have home, they have food, they don't need anything else. Stop beating your kids. This is the moment that defines your faith. And if that moment your faith is low, you know nothing about God, neither about faith. You're only listening to maybe those very church-based teachings where suffer and God gives you. Do this and God gives you. Everything has to come for hardship. No, it doesn't. This is man-made, not God-made things. This is man-made manipulation. What is your faith like? Be honest with yourself. Look at your life. This is the result of your faith. You don't like it? Your faith is low. You like it? Your faith is amazing. Congratulations. You want to expand it? Come to my Telegram channel. But only if you're serious about it. I'm the same servant of God as you are. I'm not the one who's going to motivate you into that space. I'm not the one who is going to cheer you and say, yeah, go, you can make it. I'm not stupid. Those who want will find a way. I am facilitator of the way, servant of God just as you are. We are all equal, and everyone can have, absolutely will have a blessed life when you find your way. I see you there, hopefully.